Hi, I'm Tricia Bear from the Culinary Command Post, and today I'm going to show you how to make chicken cobbler. So basically it takes about 4 cups of chicken. I'm going to do double the batch, but it takes about 4 cups of chicken, and the chicken that I use is this chicken breast bites that you can get from Sam's. It's already pre-cooked, it's already seasoned, and it's already cut up. So I use 2 containers of the chicken breast bites from Sam's. I use the vegetables I use is fresh corn. I like to use fresh corn because I don't like canned corn, and I like to use frozen peas and carrots, and then I also like to use canned green beans because I don't like the frozen ones. But anyway, on the corn, I boiled about 4 corn. I'm going to use this decobber to decob the last cob, to just to kind of show you how it works. It's super easy, and it tastes a lot better than the canned corn. So I just boiled the corn on the cob, about 4 of them, with butter, and then they've cooled a little bit. Now I'm just finishing up here, and I'm just putting or actually using this device to take the corn off the cob. So you just stick this device and turn it in the corn, and then when you get down to the end, you just switch hands and put it on here, and that's how easy it is to take the corn off the cob, and it tastes much better than the canned corn, just like that. And if you don't get all the corn off the first time, you can run it back through. Just like that. And I got that online, but that's how you can take the corn off the cob. Okay, and so I'm using the green beans, or canned green beans, frozen peas and carrots, the corn off the cob as my vegetables, and then we're going to saute 2 different bell peppers, some onions, and garlic in just a minute. But before I do that, we're going to put about 1 stick of butter in the bottom of each of these pans, so about a half a stick in each pan, because I'm making double the batch here. So, and this is actually garlic butter that I melted, and I'm just spreading it around the pan, and then I'm going to season my, put it in the bottom of the pan also. Alright, so I'm going to use about 1 teaspoon of pepper on the chicken that's already pre-cooked, but we're going to assemble it all, and then we're going to bake it in the oven. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of garlic powder, and then about a tablespoon of kicking chicken. It just gives it a little bit of spice to it. I don't like really spicy stuff, but this does give it more flavor. And it's super easy. It's already cut up for you. It's already cooked. It's already been grilled. We're going to put the chicken in the bottom of our pan. The sauce and the use this Red Lobster cheddar bay biscuit mix to go on top of it, on top of the cobbler, and it gives her a really good, nice golden crust. We're going to add Tillamook cheese also in the crust, and then the whole milk. So that's what we're going to use to do the crust, but we'll do that after we get the meat in here and the vegetables cooked up. Okay, so we got the seasoning in, so we're going to put half in one pan and half in the other. If you just want to make one batch, then just follow the recipe. It's for 1 casserole, and we're just doubling it. Put a little bit over here. Okay, so we put the chicken in the bottom, And now we're going to go over to the stove and we're going to actually cook the garlic and the onions and the 2 bell peppers that we have chopped up. Okay, so we're going to use this skillet to cook the vegetables. Put a little oil in the bottom of the pan. Heat it up, and then we're going to put in our bell peppers, our onion, and our garlic that's chopped. Okay, while the oil is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and put the bacon in the sheet pan, and I've got the oven preheated at 350 degrees. So I like to make bacon in the oven at either 20 or 25 minutes, however crispy you like it. And I'm just using 1 pack of bacon for this recipe. And we're going to add the bacon to the chicken also. I've got parchment paper laid out, and I'm just going to lay out the bacon across and put it in the oven. Alright, so I'm going to put that in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And the oven's already preheated at 350 degrees. Okay, so I got the grease heated up, and I'm going to put in the onions and the garlic. And I've got about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic and about a cup of onions. You can put however much you want. And I'm using 2 bell peppers. I'm using the yellow and the red bell pepper to give it color. And you just want to heat the vegetables up enough until the onions are translucent and soft. That's all you're wanting. And the garlic. I'm going to put it on medium-high heat. And while that's cooking, I'm going to do my sauce that's going to go in our chicken cobbler. So since I'm doubling the batch, I'm using 2 cups of chicken broth. But if you're just doing 1 container of it, you just put in 1 cup of chicken broth. I'm going to add in 1 cup of heavy cream also. And I'm going to use 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. Okay, I'm putting my chicken broth and my heavy cream on medium-high. And then I'm going to add in 2 cans of cream of chicken soup and then half a cup of the creamy ranch dip. I like to add this to all my casseroles. This is kind of like a chicken pot pie, but it has the cheddar bay biscuit crust to it. Okay, so we're going to mix up all of our vegetables in one bowl. Okay, and that's just fine. You just want to get the vegetables soft. So we're going to turn that off, and we're going to let our sauce simmer on the back just for a few minutes while I'm mixing up the vegetables with the green beans and the carrots and peas. Now we're going to add in our 1 can of canned green beans. And carrots. They were frozen and I put them in the microwave for a few minutes just to get them soft. They're going to cook in the oven also, so you don't necessarily have to do that, but I do. And then I'm using about 4 corn on the cobs that I took the corn off the cob. Alright, so I got the vegetables mixed up. We're just waiting for our bacon to get done and our sauce. So let's check on our sauce. So now I'm removing the bacon from the oven so we could chop it up and put it with our chicken cobbler. So we're going to move it over here and chop it up and put it on our chicken. Still a little hot, so we're just going to chop it up with the scissors. We're going to take it out of the grease and put it on in this bowl and then chop it up. Deal. We're just going to stick it back on the stove. Okay, so now we're ready to chop up the bacon. I'm going to dab it a little bit with the paper towel, and then we're going to chop it and put it on the bacon. Put the bacon on the chicken, sorry. Bacon on the chicken. And then we're ready to put in our vegetables and then our sauce, and then we're going to put it in our cheddar bay biscuit mix on top. You don't mix that once you put it on the casserole. You don't mix it in. This is like layers. So I'm just chopping up the bacon in little pieces. You can use the Ninja if you want. What I'm going to do is chop it in the bowl. Since it just came out of the oven, I'm just going to let the bowl hold it while I chop it with these scissors. And I cooked the bacon about 25 minutes at 350 degrees, so it's just a lot easier to put it in the oven and do other stuff while it's cooking. Okay. Alright, that should be enough. So I'm going to put half the bacon in here, the other half on the other side. But our recipe that I gave you is for 1 Just mixing in the chicken with the bacon, and then I'm going to add my vegetables, which we said was the green beans, frozen peas and carrots, and the corn off the cob. You can use canned if you like. I don't like frozen green beans, and I don't like canned corn, so. Alrighty, so now it's all mixed in. A couple more pieces over here. Okay. So now I have my vegetables. I'm going to add them to it. I've already cooked the vegetables, the bell peppers, the garlic, and the onions. So we're going to put half and half. So we're going to kind of layer it. Layer it like that. Like so. Now we're going to add our sauce. And also I have smoked Gouda cheese. Smoked Gouda and green onion cheddar cheese that I use. You can use whatever cheese you want. And then I use the Tillamook cheese on the crust with the Cheddar Bay biscuits. So we're going to go ahead and put our sauce, and then we're going to sprinkle the cheese on top of that, and then do our crust. So half the sauce goes on this side. Like that. Spread it around, and then we're going to put our crust on top. We're not mixing it in with the vegetables, we're just putting it right on top. Just like that. And I am going to add just a little bit of herbs to the sauce. To kind of give the vegetable and sauce some flavor. Okay. And now we're going to add our cheese, which is the smoked Gouda and the green cheddar. Okay, so that'll do on that, and then now we're going to do our crust. Alright, so on the crust we're going to use 2 cups of milk and this pack of the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits, and it comes with a little seasoning pack. So we're going to include that in our biscuits, but then we're going to save a little bit of the seasoning to go with our butter on top once it comes out of the oven. It's going to cook in the oven for about an hour, and you're going to heat the oven to 350 degrees. So if you're just making one casserole, you just use 1 box of the Cheddar Bay biscuits. And I like Tillamook cheddar cheese, so I'm using Tillamook medium cheddar. And they're using 2 cups of milk per box. Okay, so I'm putting in the 2 packs of the Cheddar Bay biscuit mix. With about a pack and a half of the seasoning that already. Another half I'm going to use to do 2 tablespoons of butter with this seasoning mix to put it on top once it comes out of the oven. Okay, so we're doing 4 cups of milk because we're doubling the recipe. So we're going to mix that together and add the cheese and just pour it on top and it'll be ready to go in the oven. Alright, now we're going to add some cheese to that. It's about maybe a cup of cheese we're going to add. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably put a sheet pan under that just so it don't spill over in the oven. That's all there is to that. And then we're going to pour half on this chicken cobbler and half on the other. You're not stirring it or mixing it, you're just pouring it right on top. No need to mix it. You want the crust to stay on top of your cobbler. Okay, we're going to spread it out, make sure it's going to stay in the pan. Now we're going to put them on separate sheet pans. That way if it spills over, it goes into the pan. So we're going to put it in the oven for about an hour. Gotta heat the oven up. Now I'm ready to put the chicken cobbler into the oven for about an hour at 350 degrees. Okay, and that's how you make chicken cobbler.